Hello, I'm Becupin and we are in Barotac, Nuevo Iloilo kung saan si Presidential Candidate Bongbong Marcos Jr. at si Vice Presidential Candidate Sara Duterte. Katatapos lang actually ng rally. So kung makita nyo sa likod ko, medyo pabaklas na yung stage dito sa Barotac, Nuevo. But just earlier, medyo puno to. Tsaka sa labas din kung saan may football field, puno rin siya ng supporters of the Unity Team Tandem. So, ano ba ang Iloilo City at ang Iloilo Province? Largely, it's considered the bailiwick of the Liberal Party, which is headed by Vice President Leni Robredo among Marcos Jr.'s chief rivals for the presidency. So in fact, in 2016, Robredo dominated in Iloilo Province and the city. So did her running mate then, Interior Chief Mar Rojas, over now President Duterte, the father of Marcos Jr.'s running mate, Davao Mayor Sara Duterte. Bakit ko binabanggit ito? Para lang maintindihan mo yung context kung bakit sinasabi na baluarte ng Liberal Party or ng Yellows or ng Dilaw yung province of Iloilo, Iloilo City, and even nearby Negros Occidental and Bacolod City. Speaking of Negros Occidental and Bacolod City, kahapon nag-visit din doon si Marcos Jr. at si Sara Duterte sa February 23 yun. He also did a quick tour around the province. So, honestly, the sojourn in Iloilo isn't as jam-packed as their other trips around the Philippines, no? Parang they only had several campaign stops para may dalawang events sa Iloilo Convention Center, first with barangay officials and then later with their supporters. Of course, with them were senatorial candidates and allied local bets dito sa Iloilo Province, Iloilo City. Pero, before that also, Marcos Jr. attended the inauguration of PFP headquarters in Haro, Iloilo. Medyo maingay around me, sorry, kasi nagbabaklas, naglilinis na yung mga volunteers at supporters dito. In between, this is also key, the tandem had a closed-door meeting with several allies, not just from Iloilo Province and Iloilo City, but also from the region. So why does this stop matter? So kung ihalo mo ang Negros Occidental at Bacolod City, may 1.9 million registered voters. Iloilo naman, province and the city, 1.6 million registered voters. So the two provinces and cities combined among the vote-rich in the country, which makes it crucial for any candidate in 2022, even if you are Marcos Jr. or Sara Duterte, who are currently the survey leaders in the races. So it hasn't been very smooth sailing for this Iloilo trip. I'm sure you've read it on Rappler and on social media. First of all, dapat may meet and greet si Sara Duterte sa provincial capital grounds and a scheduled courtesy call pero na-cancel ito. And then the other day, na-report nga ng fellow natin na si Joseph Marzan na yung Gimbal Stadium nga, which are actually the grounds of the Gimbal High School, in a post that has been deleted nga, parang i-close daw siya for a supposed disinfection. It turns out may scheduled na rally, dapat initially yung Unity Team. The regional DepEd has since been asked by the division, the regional DepEd rather, they asked it's kind of loud, sorry. The division of Iloilo to submit a report on the supposed Unity Team rally and also reports na yung ARC ng school parang tinakpan para sabihin na Gimbal Stadium siya. The event was later scrapped altogether. And then the Marcos team in a statement said that they did so because of, quote, distasteful social media posts by supporters of their rivals. They also said that for the sake of unity and so educators in Gimbal aren't brought into the controversy, they scrapped it altogether. Again, andun naman yung word na unity kasi kung napanood mo yung previous discussions on Rappler, parang yun yung main message ng unity ni Marcos Jr. at ni Sara Duterte. So, here in Iloilo, on top of highlighting the need to work on education, tourism, internet connectivity, and infra, kasi nga wala pang full platform na ina-unveil si Marcos Jr. But he did highlight infrastructure, specifically a bridge connecting daw Iloilo to Guimaras and to Negros that earned a lot of cheers from the crowd here in Iloilo. Honestly, it's hard to gauge kung ano ba yung impact ng visit na ito for Marcos Jr.'s candidacy and as well as Sara Duterte's candidacy. Pero ganito siguro, isipin nyo, yung pag-visit sa isang traditional bailiwick of your rival, strategists will tell you this is important for at least two reasons. Una, statement, na hindi ka takot dumayo sa lugar kung saan mahina ka at malakas yung rival mo. And second, a more practical reason, you want to chip away at the dominance of your rival in hopes of gaining more votes for yourself and narrowing down that lead. especially in a multi-way race, even if at this point, medyo leading si Marcos Jr. sa surveys. In Negros Occidental, for instance, 85%, this was a report on Rappler as well, pledge of the mayors in the province in Negros Occidental pledged support for Marcos Jr. and Duterte, even though no local executive actually showed up on stage with a tandem. Earlier din in Iloilo City, kung naalala nyo kanina, nabanggit ko, may meeting with barangay officials, and that's distinct on top of the meeting with local supporters. Bakit? Politicians and strategists will tell you that on top of importante yung may big name endorsers ka in political bigwigs or celebrities that who endorse you. Pero mas importante if you're a politician running for a national post to have a lot of allies on the ground, and that parang hindi lang yun LCEs or yung candidates ng city or candidates ng province. Importante din na meron kang good connection sa mga barangay leaders. And what better way to create a good connection nga than to network and get the favor of barangay officials in the province like Iloilo. Like I said kanina, it's a very vote-rich province and city. So another thing that we have to remember, yung striking nga sa visit na to is, today is February 24, bukas February 25. It's the anniversary of the People Power Revolution. Just to remind everyone watching, the People Power Revolution didn't just happen along EDSA, although it's popularly called the EDSA Revolution as well, but it happened all throughout the country. And why I say that, because like I mentioned earlier, diba, Western Visayas has had a history of rejecting Marcos Jr. in the elections, and that's not just a one-time thing. Parang matitrace mo rin yun to the history of the region via the Marcos name and martial law specifically. So tomorrow, again, is February 25, the anniversary of the People Power Revolution, which ousted the dictator. And this region, so many of its sons, daughters, young leaders, kung baga, ito yung mga politicians who could have been the future of Philippine politics, at least in the eyes of their supporters, in the eyes of many Filipinos, no? But they were among the many of the thousands of those who were slain during the dark days of martial law under Ferdinand Marcos. And that's a memory. A lot of Ilonggos, especially those who fought the dictatorship, they won't forget that very soon. We haven't actually, right before we went live, we did have a chance interview with Marcos Jr., asking him about what he felt now that after visiting the bailiwick of his rival nga, Leni Robredo. Sabi niya, nagulat daw siya sa support, but he's very happy because they found key allies in the province to host them here in Iloilo Province, Iloilo City, and earlier also in Negros Occidental and in Bacolod City. But again, as in Negros Occidental, the key here is not so much about just consolidating support, but it's about trying to project that when it comes to the unity team, when it comes to Marcos Jr. and Sara Duterte, yung baluarte nila ay hindi lamang sa kanilang traditional bailiwicks. So that would be the solid north, quote-unquote, and Davao or Mindanao. Pero yung baluarte nila is everywhere in the Philippines. But we'll see kung ano ba yung effect ng visit na to, and we'll see if they'll visit again in the coming months and weeks. And then eventually we'll see on May 9 how Western Visayas, Negros Occidental, Bacolod, Iloilo City, and Iloilo Province will turn out for the unit team tandem. So yun muna yung recap natin for today. Medyo mainit na at marami ng baklasan na nangyari. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, leave them there and I'll try to answer them in a written recap that I will be filing for Rappler soon. Again, this has been Bea Cupin. Thank you for watching and bye.